In October of 2000, television reporter Suzanne Hobbs was the first person on the scene when police discovered the body of a newborn baby in a dumpster in Idaho Falls, Idaho. Take a look.
Shortly after we arrived, you could see the yellow dumpster. A man from the funeral home reached in and pulled out this little baby. I'll never forget seeing that, seeing this little baby's body come out of the dumpster.
That same day, police questioned a teenager who was nearby, and she confessed to the crime. The 18-year-old mother claimed the baby was stillborn. She was sentenced to at least 10 days in jail and placed on 2 years probation for the unlawful disposal of a body. And how did you feel about that?
That is an image I'll never forget. It is something, as a news reporter, you try not to make every story so personal, but that is one, because at the time, I was trying to get pregnant and had been married for several years, and to see someone do that to a baby that maybe I could have had was very difficult.
So Suzanne made it her mission to get a safe haven law passed in Idaho. How did you do that, safe haven law?
Speaking with that teenage girl's father during a television interview, he mentioned that he had heard that there was a law in other states. Idaho did not have that law, called the safe haven law. And he thought that if his daughter maybe knew about the law, maybe she would have taken the baby to a safe place. And he wouldn't be going through that.
And how does that law work? You can just drop the baby off, no questions asked?
Exactly. That's the most important part of the law. But you take it to a hospital, fire station, medical office, police station. You have to physically hand the child over to someone and say, I am the mother, I choose to not have this baby. And you can walk away. If you can give medical information, you're encouraged to do that, but they will not ask for your name. You will not be prosecuted if you walk away.
Jessica, do you think if there was such a law, you would have been able to do that if you'd known of that law?
When I look back, more than anything, I wish I would have just turned to somebody as soon as I found out. But if I would have known of things like this, I could have had a plan. I could have figured out something and possibly taken him somewhere where he could have been safe. I feel that if I would have been more knowledgeable of options, then the outcome would never have been what it is today.
Here's an interesting twist to Suzanne's story. Since the safe haven law was passed in Idaho, 13 newborns have been surrendered. And one of those babies is now Suzanne's daughter.
Yes.
How did that happen?
And not only did I end up adopting a safe haven baby, but I went to our state senator, Bart Davis, and I went to him shortly after the father told me that Idaho didn't have a law, and I said, we need to have this law in Idaho. And for 6 months, I bothered the state senator. He finally got it through. It passed with flying colors through the Idaho Senate and the House, and it became a law in Idaho in April. The governor signed the law for Idaho to have the safe haven law in 2001. And the governor, when he handed me the pen and said, thank you for your help on this law, your fingerprints are all over this law, it really was very much because of the dumpster, me seeing that baby come out of the dumpster. I wanted to make a difference so the word would get out. And then, yes, I end up in 2003 being on the list for the adoption to adopt a child. And there she is.
A baby that was dropped off.
Yes.
Back in a moment. Thank you. Great.